Captain America Civil War would be similar to, but at the same time very different from the actual movie. Hawkeye and Mockingbird would be absent as they would have their own movie later the same year. Team Cap would include Captain America, Falcon, Scarlet Witch, and Black Panther, and Team Iron Man would be replaced by Team Ant-Man, including the Wasp, Vision, Spider-Man, and Namor, which, instead of T'Chaka, Zemo kills Namor's mother, Princess Fen, and frames Bucky for it, which is what brings him into the conflict. Hawkeye, the world's greatest archer, would follow a similar plot to the Hawkeye series, introducing a bit of a younger Kate Bishop. Sadly, Yelena will not appear due to her being a Black Widow character, and also Kingpin would be on Daredevil at this point, so his role would be replaced with Tombstone. Doctor Strange would be the same as the actual movie, no real changes. Spider-Man Homecoming would also be basically the same, but with Vision replacing Iron Man's role, with Ant-Man being mentioned, and Pym Technologies replacing Stark Industries as part of Vulture's backstory. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 remains basically the same as the actual movie. The Guardians movies are so disconnected from everything at this point that they don't really need any changes. Then we would get a Young Avengers movie as the team would form after the Avengers fell apart in Civil War, consisting of Kate Bishop, Echo, Cassie Lang, Patriot, and America Chavez, with America being involved. The multiverse would be hinted at but not focused on. The main villain would be the Hood, and the plot would also involve the Reality Stone. Avengers Infinity War begins with the Black Order on Earth taking the Reality Stone from the Young Avengers. America opens a portal to get away, which brings them to Doctor Strange, and they warn him about Thanos. They go to recruit Clint and Mockingbird when Ebony Maw and Cull Obsidian attack them and Spider-Man joins in. Thanos still attacks the Guardians and sacrifices Gamora to get the Soul Stone, before the rest of the team crosses paths with the other heroes. Meanwhile, Team Cap's story plays out about the same, except instead of going to get War Machine, they go to Atlantis to convince Namor to help. America opens a portal that takes her, Patriot, Rocket, and Groot to Earth to help in Wakanda. By the end, Thanos snaps his fingers and half of all life disappears. The survivors include the original Avengers, Winter Soldier, Kate Bishop, Rocket, and Nebula. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania would be similar to the actual movie, but also pretty different. As Hank Pym is dead at this point, Cassie Lang doesn't appear as she's with the Young Avengers in Infinity War, and Kang isn't part of the current saga. Instead, Darren Cross is the main villain, except he doesn't become MODOK since we already had a MODOK in this universe. Instead, he's just still Yellow Jacket. Also, the movie ends with them trapped in the quantum realm. Captain Marvel remains essentially the same. Avengers Endgame begins about the same as the actual movie, with Captain Marvel saving the Hawkeyes and Nebula in space, and the survivors tracking down Thanos and killing him. We then jump forward 5 years, when Ant-Man and the Wasp escape the quantum realm and contact the Avengers. They track down Black Panther in Wakanda, Hawkeye and Mockingbird, who are retired and living peacefully with their family, while Kate became Ronin instead after all the other Young Avengers died in the snap. Captain America, Iron Man, Ant-Man, and the Wasp go back to 2012. Iron Man and Ant-Man get the Tesseract from MODOK. Captain America breaks into Hydra's base to get the Mind Stone, and the Wasp gets the Time Stone from the Ancient One. Kate and Rocket go back to the events of Young Avengers to get the Reality Stone. And Bucky, Nebula, Hawkeye, and Mockingbird go back to the events of Guardians of the Galaxy, where Bucky and Nebula get the Power Stone from Star-Lord, while Hawkeye and Mockingbird go to Vormir, and Hawkeye sacrifices himself for the Soul Stone. Thanos finds out and follows them back to present and attacks them after Captain Marvel snaps to bring everyone back. The final battle plays out essentially the same, except Black Panther is the one who sacrifices himself by using the Infinity Gauntlet to defeat Thanos. Before he dies, he passes the mantle of Black Panther to Shuri. Steve also goes back in time and retires, passing the shield to Sam. Mockingbird also retires to focus on her family now that Clint is dead. Kate chooses not to rejoin the Young Avengers, instead moves on from them. However, they are joined by Spider-Man, and the Avengers are disbanded once again. Spider-Man Far From Home would still have Mysterio as the main villain, and he could still have the same plan of faking being a hero, except all of the Tony Stark related elements are removed, and also the Young Avengers have a cameo. Spider-Man is technically still a member of the team at this point, but by the time they get to a Young Avengers sequel, it will be after No Way Home, where everyone forgets who he is. So by that point, he won't be on the team anymore.